This is the Carlton Brown Foundation TV show. It's Carlton Brown, founder, CEO speaking. FAU Fame TV production. This is the second half of the United Nations Periodic Review. You can go to hashtag United Nations Periodic Review. That's where you can go to look it up and see the whole document for yourself. It says, we are the Friends of the African Union and members of the Friends of the African Union Chamber of Commerce, such as McGraw and Daniels LLC, a Infinite Building Economics Black Private Partnership, the United States of Africa, accept the projects of the New Future Foundation. That's the United Nations Periodic Review. That's who we're in agreement with on that. We implemented that together across the America. That's our new single right there for the Carlton Brown Foundation. That's me, Andy Knuckle-Kizzle, and Mr. Justice. We got a little work to do on it too. We're going to tweak it. All right, here we go. It says, Incorporated shall be funded out of the request for the $5 trillion contained in. This is the New Future Foundation project founded by Queen Mother Moore. She started it, and Queen Mother Blakely, the great lady who carried on her amazing mission. And we are honored, humbled by them, and we should honor them forever. It says, the process will be through a digital and person meeting through March 28th, 2015. It's your $5 trillion quantitative easing, African people. The process will be through the digital and person meetings through the March 28, 2015 to hear the United Nations Human Rights protocols, whereas the organizations in the process have to be contained to the building of the United Nations of America through the voting and electoral process of the country of the Universal Periodic Review, committed to the building of the African Union and contributed to the unification of development of Africa. C, committed to assist with the African diaspora in joining and voting members as American citizens, committed to recognize Africa as their motherland and birthplace of humanity, and to use their networks and to spread the word of the African Region 6 region process, and equal to the 8 already established RECs. Friends of the African Union, FAU, is an economic, social, humanitarian, charitable, educational, and new media civil society ruling body founded to work for the benefit of the African Union and the African diaspora in the host countries. According to the office and the High Commissioner to Human Rights, the United States of America national government has the primary responsibility to implement recommendations contained in the final outcome of the Universal Periodic Review process. We, the writers of the document of the Future Foundation Incorporated and FAU, Friends of the African Union is what that means, will use the Universal Periodic Review as the basis to ensure that the United States government is held accountable for the process and failure in implementing recommendations centered around $5 trillion request using the Friends of the African Union, Daniels, IDIQ quantitative easing 5.x process, embedded in a global network driven by interpretably with near field communication, enabled devices so as to sunset the institutionalized federal racism. We base our actions on when it comes time for the second review of a state. In the case of the United States national government, they must provide information. Cincinnati riot, that's gonna come to y'all too. Right. The United States national government, they must provide information on what they have been doing to implement recommendations made during the first review 4 years earlier. The document is subsequent documents we include by reference. We look forward through the Congresses of the African people that I convened by signature to the recommendation for assistance from the international community in implementing recommendations, conclusions regarding the capacity and building of technical assistance by March 2015 that will happen in consultation with the members of the African Union in the 6th region who live in the United States of America. As an advisory group, the FAU's function are to contribute through advice to effective transition of objectives, principles, and policies of the African Union. It concentrates programmees to evaluate other programmees, undertake studies, recommend for a deemed necessary by programs of the African Union, FAU, to submit recommendations accordingly, carry out other studies deemed necessary to submit recommendations and appropriate contribute to population participation, sharing of practices and experiences, and realization of vision and objects of African Union to contribute to the promotion of human rights according to the universal and objectives of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the rule of law, good governance, democratic principles, gender equality, children's rights, promote and support efforts, institutions engaged in the review of equality of children's rights, the future African and forgive of Pan-African values enhanced in an African society and the way of life based on an international organization by standardization 26000 model. Foster and consolidate partnership between the AU through the FAU and allied NGOs through public education, mobilization, feedback on activities of the African Union and the needs of the African diaspora, and assume other functions and refer to the virtue in responding to the recommendations supported by the United States during the Universal Periodic Review cycle as they were listed in the United Nations Working Group January 2011 report A/HRC 1611, and the comments and positions of the United States articulated on those recommendations in March 2011 in response, because the second United Nations Periodic Review cycle will focus on the recommendations supported by the United States, and we will break our work down into 10 subject matter categories. This is your money, this is your reparations, your opportunity to go to work, African people. This is very, very important. Very important. This is about the future economic destiny of our children. Remember, civil rights, ethnic, and racial discrimination. We look forward to meeting to the recommendations in the United Nations Periodic Review recommendations forward in America law. We will use recommendations 96 to take appropriate legislative and practical measures to prevent racial bias in the criminal justice system based on example, the case in Ferguson, Missouri. Go on, family. Yelly boys, we coming to you. Here are the issues that we will address. Using the case and others, we will take action so that the legislative and administrative measures to ban racial profiling in law enforcement and enacted and nationwide in line with the United States position. Profiling individuals used the race, ethnicity, national origin, or religion is prohibited under the United States Constitution and numerous places of national legislation. Criminal justice issues are to be covered in a systematic review of operations of police departments based on the work in St. Louis, Cleveland, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio. Indigenous issues will be reviewed based on a presented in the Lewis and Clark Law School Review entitled International Law and Colonialism. Comparative analysis by Robert L. Miller, who is the professor of law, Sandra Day O'Connor, College of Law, Arizona State of Lewis and Clark Law School, Synopsis. The future of international law in indigenous affairs and doctrine and discovery, the United Nations and the Organization of American Status. National security is to be enhanced through 2063. We use $5 trillion in funding in the document to support transformation in the economic household of 7 million households, while supporting a systematic change in the lives of 55 million people who live in the United States and who are members of the African Union 6th region. 5. Immigration is where the Friends of the African Youth Leave America can use an expanded EB-5 program in support of addressing solutions to the structural racism in the United States with a focus on our education and healthcare institutions. Labor and trafficking. We are aforementioned that the public-private partnership are to be the union labor enterprise based on a one-top principle of representation on a supervisory board of trustees and to support a 50-year project, a labor agreement that the provisions that support the stopping of modern slavery and allied industry and human trafficking. Economic and social and cultural rights and measures will be based on the St. Louis County, Missouri, where in 2011, St. Louis Sewer District commissioned a disparity study because undertaking the largest construction projects in St. Louis region, the capital improvement replacement, a $4.7 billion program to update and rehabilitate the district, washer, and correction in the department system. The military decade program to reduce the community and health and safety with the removal of newly 400 sewer solutions. Hey, if you want to know more, it's going to be more points. Go to hashtag United Nations Periodic Review. Go to FAU Cincinnati. Find about the public-private partnership. Go to www.fauchamber.net. We're in implementation. We're investing $250,000 into 1,000 businesses, African business. Starting next Saturday, a flyer will be upcoming with information. We'll be promoting it all over the place, passing it out in the community. We'll be coming to see you. Everyone, this is the Carl Brown Foundation Show. We love you. Remember, I am you and you are me. And see, one thing about us, we see our reflection. We are friends of the African Union. We are united as one people, one voice for the future economic destiny of our generations to come. And a shout goes out to the chairman, Mr. Herschel Daniels Jr., and Mr. Robert Lee Harris, the foundation, and Mr. Fred Hargrove, our Chamber of Commerce.